you guys had the RP show, and I feel like we have a lot of overlap with our perspectives. And the thing that's interested me and what used to bother me before I came out as someone with RP and had this podcast and felt more open about, talking about RP and was, and I think part of that was kind of like a masculinity kind of worry that it's going to emasculate me, because there's a common theme, like masculinity, you want to be, independent, you don't want to rely on others. You want to be self-sufficient. And, sometimes when you have a disability, you have to rely on others every now and then to kind of get certain things done. And your ego can kind of get in the way of that if you let it, right? So
yeah, totally. And
that happens to me still, like if I go on vacation and I can't drive the rental car, I feel like, am I less of a quote unquote man or things like that, and I, we're all married here too. And then, so sometimes I'm wondering, I'm like, I feel like I'm competing, with people who are fully sighted or, like I view it as a competition, and it kind of keeps, I feel like I have thoughts in my head all the time about how do I keep my masculinity strong while losing my vision, while having to rely on others more. And that's a fear of mine that those around me are gonna think of me as like a burden or something like that, or less masculine. Do you think I'm onto something here, or do you?
I mean, you could just do what Mike did. Go head to head and become a housewife. That seems to have sorted all Mike's masculinity issues straight out. I mean, he's at home with Penny making apple pie for Thanksgiving. All that stuff. He's totally embraced it. Like the Queen video, "I want to break free." That's Mike hoovering up, making pies. He's just there. He's just fronting it out head on, aren't you, Mike?
But then I have to do everything. I run the whole household, so it's like I could definitely relate to what you're saying, Lance. Is that I feel as a husband and also now I'm also a father. That's a lot of pressure to. I want to maintain that, especially to my son, that dad could do all these awesome things, and that maintains. I think doing those things helps you like kind of maintain that masculinity, But there's definitely things that I worry about as I get older that. I'm not going to be able to go out there and mow the lawn. I'm not going to be able to get out there, and there's going to be certain things that my wife, I think, leans on me still. Like, I'm my wife's rock. Sooner or later, that rock starts to crack, and it's like, what do we do, Because it's not, like you said.
What's the least thing, Mike, that makes you feel least masculine?
Oh, definitely. I mean, like you said, I remember always, driving my wife around. I felt better, I feel like, I should be able to, hey, let's go, hop in the car, let's go. And like, even just something small like that, not being able to take your wife out on a date, like you taking them out, or you're opening the door for them or bringing them into, like, it's like all those small things, like she's leading the way. She has to show me around. Like those could be in your head, especially, like Steve always refers to as the camel toe. And being dragged around, and you're like, I'm not a child, and you feel just like it's just not being able to do things like that where you used to be able to, especially if you remember being able to do them. Yeah, it's a blow to
That's mine. I'm with you there, Mike. That's mine entirely. Like when I first started dating Anna, it's like, I wasn't using a cane, but I had stopped driving at night, and dates are predominantly at night time, aren't they? So it was like, oh, you're going to pick me up? And it's like, actually, could you pick me up? And then it's like, and like to Lance's point, I found it really difficult. Like then not only asking to be picked up by the date, but then also needing help to the car because it's pitch black outside. And that's just like not how the dates go in the movies. The guy pulls up in the car, jumps out, opens the door for the girl. Whereas me, I'm falling over flower pots on the driveway, trying to claw my way to the vehicle and climb into the car, being helped in like some kind of invalid. And that's very like demasculating, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
yeah.
It's, you know, because it is like there's common like stereotypes of what, you know, how things should be. And, you know, for the most part, sometimes stereotypes are spot on, and, you know, and I don't want to use the word toxic, you know, masculinity, and that's not where this conversation is going, but there are expectations, you know, for men to do specific things, and disability or visual impairment sometimes can leave people around you scratching their heads, or okay, and it can be the smallest things, like you said, Mike, going to a restaurant and just finding your seat, or opening the door, or you know, and it can add up.